All right, welcome back. We're here for our second match for week one, March of the Machine League, and we got two new players to our league. So we saw Reed earlier in his first league, and we have both Pedro, who I'm watching here, and Bob, who Justin's going to be watching, and they're also both in their first league. And we already see a very powerful card that Bob has access to, which is the Lutri, the Spell Chaser. So that's going to have an impact on this game almost certainly.
Yeah.
And yes,
Bob here running a Grixis base deck with the Lucia's Companion, looking to be a bit more controlling, since as you can see from the Traumatic Revelation, he has a bunch of like kill spells and
yeah.
some recursion.
Also, interestingly, he looks like he's been to Strixhaven, which normally I would say is a bit of a risk in the early weeks because it sort of locks you in certain colors because there's certain color, only five of the color combos are supported. But with Lutri as your commander, I could see getting some pretty powerful spells in Strixhaven and
Yeah.
making use of that. So I'm kind of liking what I see here. Pedro seems to so far just have a pretty straightforward black red deck. So he has Obosh in his hand, as well as
Okay.
Etched Host Doombringer, which is the 5 mana 3/5 in black, and the Invasion of Asgul, which is the black red gold card. So looks pretty straightforward. He might be splashing, he might not. He does have three losses so far, so it's possible that started out as three colors after the losses went down to two. Bob's
Yep.
off to a good start. He's 3-1. And interestingly enough, he actually has a little Twitch stream of his own. So he's been streaming his matches on Twitch. So afterwards you can go see it from his viewpoint and get some insight on his VODs. So yeah, just helping out a fellow content creator over there. But yeah, both players brand new to the league, stepped up in the feature match. We're happy to have them. Uh, what's Bob's options here this turn, aside from the cards
Well,
that are known to me?
yeah, the cards that are not known are Rona here, which fits in quite well with what his game plan is
Oh yeah,
at the moment. The other cards are Stoke the Flames and Halo Charge Scab. So yes, just he's just following a very great theme here of just like playing a bunch of like removal and like being controlling.
he's just got a very dedicated spells deck.
Yeah,
And like he's only opened one pack, so he got that Rise of Extus and the Serpentine Curve just from that one pack of Strixhaven. So
oh yeah,
looks like he's got a really cool deck because there's not really like a spells theme in March of the Machines. Usually in almost every set we see it, but here it's not really. But he's making it work with Lutri and possibly going to open some more Strixhaven. So very cool, interesting strategy. Over here, Pedro unfortunately just has a couple lands and an Etched Host Doombringer, so it might be kind of what we saw in the last round, where one player got off to an assertive start, but then the other player sort of drowned them in all the cards they still had behind. So he did
wow.
he did hold the Etched Host Doombringer here, uh, maybe waiting for a battle.
Yeah, maybe, but
But
man, he even got a Witherbloom.
With the Obosh, it's effectively a 6/5, so probably wants to get it in play since it does get the bonus here from Obosh with its power.
Yeah, unfortunately, the clauses lose 2 life and gain 2 life, so it won't
Yeah,
be doubled by Obosh.
yeah. If you got to deal damage, then you get two extra in.
So yeah, basically Strixhaven it seems to have done well. Like just from the 3 cards you've shown, like Rise of Exodus, Serpentine Curve,
Absolutely.
Witherbloom, Pledge Mage.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like he got. Sometimes you just open a pack and you get hooked up, and sometimes you open a pack and you maybe play one or two commons.
Yeah,
All right, so he's going to get back his Invasion of Arcavios, which is a card that we don't see much in draft just because it's a really big build around card.
yeah,
It requires you to play spells, but I believe the backside allows you to copy your first spell every turn, which is kind of absurd if your deck is built to support it. Unfortunately,
yeah,
Pedro just has lands here. He has the Corrupted Conviction, which is the Village Rights reprint. All right.
yeah. You can use it to just look kind of blank the Rise of Exodus to some extent and draw
Yeah.
2 cards.
I
I
guess
wonder
we'll
what his
get. I
lesson
guess we
plan
get to see
is.
what his lesson is. He will have at least one lesson from his pack of Strixhaven. I guess we'll find out what it is and if it's
Oh, well,
useful
he has
or.
2 lessons actually. He has
Oh,
Confront the Past and Expanded Enemies. So running into those Planeswalkers, or if he has a Planeswalker himself, to Confront the Past can be very good.
yeah, it's not really what you want to see in your rare slot, but I think it looks like the rest of his pack worked out nicely. So I don't think he's too sad. So how big is that Serpentine curve going to be at this point? He's already played quite a few spells.
I think it's more or less in the 4 or 5 range area. I can't
Okay.
actually see it till you scroll over it, but there is
Okay.
quite a bit of spells in that
I think
graveyard.
Pedro's actually almost on cue gone to his graveyard to see how many spells, and I think it was about four.
He's got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that is indeed 4. This Invasion of Arcavios will find whatever spell
I guess we're gonna see
in the
what.
sideboard, graveyard, or library that he wants.
I guess we're gonna see whatever. He just wants his Rise of Exodus back. He just says, I just want to keep exiling your stuff. I don't need to get fancy here."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting that he actually uh, he just sort of threw off the Lutri like right away earlier just to block. Like he wasn't holding it to try and do something fancy. He said, if I don't block, I'm gonna fall behind. So we didn't mention it directly at the time, but that was really, he just played the Lutri and traded with like a much worse creature. So,
Yeah.
but now he's
Wow.
got to copy all of his spells. So this is gonna be pretty unpleasant here.
This is a beautiful display of a control deck. He can seal the Necropolis, even get back his Lutri again if he really wants to. Might just probably attack for 6 and play Serpentine Curve, making 2/5/5s.
Yeah, it's always really interesting here to see new players, because to us they're new players, but we don't know how long they've been playing Magic. They're new to our server, but we've seen in the past year some of the new players that have come in, they have won leagues very shortly after. So the quality of the players in our league just keeps going up and up and up, and we're seeing quite the quality of plays here. Pedro's
Wow.
gonna go to the next game. You get 2/7/7s.
What a very coherent deck to have in the first game, on the first week, honestly.
Yeah, this is after one pack. You would expect maybe after two, three packs you're seeing this, but his starting pool just had a bunch of things, a couple things that asked him for spells, and he said, "I'm gonna go Strixhaven. I'm gonna narrow in on this." So over here, Pedro is looks like he's been to Ravnica Allegiance. He has a Judith the Scourge Diva in his deck. So, oh, but that might be
Okay.
from the current set as well.
Yeah, I think that could be from the current
But
set.
I did see a couple of Ravnica cards, so he might have still opened that. Yeah, he
I mean, the one thing
has.
I struggle from Bob's deck is that his mana base is not very coherent. He did show us the Scaling Surveyor. He has that one dual land, but besides that, he doesn't have much in terms of fixing.
Oh,
So and he's up double pips in like every single color. So he might struggle to cast his spells.
he's actually gone to Guilds of Ravnica, so that might have been before he decided to go Rakdos, because he had a hired poisoner that he played, and he also had a Child
Okay.
of Night in his sideboard. So he actually and an Erratic Cyclops, which is like a red a spells card. Um, yeah, so it looks like he might have was thinking maybe he was going to be one of the Guilds of Ravnica color combos, but then but then said, well, my black and red are best, which is kind of like it's kind of a risk to choose a guild set or like a set like Strixhaven, especially in the early weeks, because like let's say you decide I'm going to open guild Strixhaven, and then three losses in you see all your best cards and your best rares are red and green, which is not a color combo supported there.
Yeah.
You kind of lost something, or you've narrowed yourself in and sort of eliminated other options. So, um, we've seen both players actually go to guild sets in week one. So very interesting choices here. We got nice little ubiquitous 2-drop here, Nizumi Informant. So the Scrap Chomper looks to be sort of a casualty of just I'm going to play two colors, so this gets in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, based on how flooded he got last game, like something like a Scrap Chomper sitting around might have been able to be helpful. But unfortunately, it looks like it's just going to be eaten here by the Cryptomancer. Just a great card. We were chatting about it between the two rounds about how good this card has been.
Yep. Like you could use it as a combat trick. It saves your creature from any removal. And in weird cases, you could actually just like buff their own Tetsuko and kill it. But
Yes, we've I've had that happen to me. Somebody had played it and it targeted my Tetsuko so that they could then get it off the battlefield because it could be blocked.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's better than like the Cradle of Safety auras like that we've seen, because it leaves around a body. It can trump block. It can convoke. It's just does just about everything here. So
yeah,
we're seeing a much more modest start here by Bob with just sort of some I mean, Skinning Surveyor is good. Oculus Whelp probably just a card he's gonna be cutting pretty soon from his deck. I would think.
Yep.
And here's completed Huntmaster, so that could have an interesting effect here on the board. But
Yeah.
he,
No,
yeah, okay,
notice the one thing, like Complete Hatmaster sacrifices at instant speed. That is something we do not get very often.
yeah. And if you're looking for like stuff going to the graveyard triggers, it could just keep sacking the incubate that it makes over and over, like once a turn.
Yeah.
Like it makes an incubate, you could just sack that before without even transforming it if you want the triggers. So he had an Edge Toast Doombringer in hand, but he's opting to leave up ability on Huntmaster. Plus he has Corrupted Conviction,
Uh,
and he has a Mirrored and Avenged. Here comes Phyrexian Archivist. You know what? This card was like a guilty pleasure of mine back in Strixhaven when it was I think it was Cogwork Archivist.
yes.
I really liked that card. It was really I really liked playing it. I know it wasn't the best, but I thought it was good. And the ability actually came in clutch sometimes in some of those blue decks where you're just drawing like crazy and needed to make sure you didn't deck. Um,
I, I think this Phyrexian Archive basically just has the same kind of role as it did back in Strixhaven because the blue black deck, it mills out so
yeah,
fast. It draws so many cards, it mills itself. You definitely want the Phyrexian Archivist sometimes to just like be there as your safety net to so you don't mill yourself.
yeah, and it has much more terrifying flavor text this time around. So
Oh yeah, it does. It's true. In
yeah,
flavor.
yeah. So we're seeing a bit of sort of like the fairer draw from Bob here. He's not just like casting his spells, going crazy, drawing cards, killing everything. He's just sort of playing very normal game of Magic here, which I'm sure he's very unhappy about because last game
Yeah,
was last game he was executing his plan perfectly, and here he's just sort of playing dudes and hoping for the best. Um,
yeah, he's drawn a large part of the creatures in his deck, and even the Halo Charge Scab, you're sad you milled two cards and you didn't even get a spell, so you didn't
yeah,
even
and
get.
he's gonna get to kill it for 1 mana here with a Lithomantic Barrage.
Oh, that's yeah. Lithomantic Barrage. These sideboard cards, they're amazing.
Yeah, and he's
Like,
gonna
that's
hold
right
he's
back.
gonna hold this Edge Toast Doombringer to try and deal the last 2 points of damage here once he gets him low enough, I think. And he's gonna attack in with the 3/3. He's gonna offer the trade for the 2/3.
Yeah, that 2/3 is annoying, especially like if you turn the corner. Like it's just a 2/3 unblockable, and that you have to kind of deal with eventually.
Yeah, I haven't seen people make use of it yet much in draft, but for week one deck, especially his deck, which is looking to just go late and control the game, that's kind of the 2-drop that you're looking for. So now we have the Threat of Lutri here. What does he have a spell in hand to copy here?
He does not.
Okay, so
He could.
he's just putting the fear in his opponent. What does he have? What does he have though aside from the Lutri?
He has an Invasion of Fiore.
Oh, okay, it's
Oh,
the board wipe.
so there we go. He's drawn Deadly Derision. He can now cast Deadly Derision, copying it with Lutri. Your opponent will still have a 3/3 left over because the completed Master will obviously
Yes.
sack the host Doombringer.
I believe it can it sack itself even? Well, either way, you can get one incubate from it.
Yeah, you can get one incubate from it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and again like a board wipe. That's the kind of card you almost need in order to really make this deck work because
Yeah.
um, it feels like almost a necessity. Here comes an Ayara. So if this hits the board, it's gonna be it's gonna be dead. This might draw the board wipe or the double kill spell because this card is very very strong.
Well, it's currently just presenting lethal with the Doombringer, right? You sack the
Yep.
Doombringer, and then your opponent just loses 5 life.
Yeah, he has to do that. He basically has to kill Ayara before they untap. And with the corrupted conviction here and the Huntmaster, this if he does decide to copy the Deadly Derision, it's actually both sides are going to be countered.
Yeah, I was saying like the thing about Ayara that makes it scary is that it's the front side. The back side is like yeah, it's like it's still scary in its own way, but the front side the one that's gonna kill you so much faster.
Yeah, I did make use of the backside earlier today in a draft. I brought back a Bolas Slinger, which basically was able to tap 2 creatures because it had haste and it put a counter on something.
Oh
So
yes, of course.
in a black white deck, so that was cool. But yeah, the front side is very frightening as well.
Yeah, the main part of the front side is like you sack like some large CMC creature, and then you just play another one, and they die because
Yeah,
that's a lot of damage.
I used it to bring back an Alabaster Host Intercessor as well, which was a good time. Yeah, so he's going to do this now on his main phase rather than on opponent's turn. But he realizes he cannot allow opponent to untap. So yeah, like I said, actually both halves of this Deadly Derision are gonna fizzle.
Yeah, so he's gonna target the Huntmaster. He's gonna sack the AR to the Huntmaster, then gonna sack his that to Corruptive Conviction.
Unfortunately, he's drawn 2 lands here. This is where he could use his little scrap chomper.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's gonna have to draw out of this. He's got a Searing Barb. Uh,
Okay. Searing Barb does do it to face, but just gonna offer do that.
yeah,
Probably
he,
make
he, he
your opponent
basically now
double
has
jump,
to chump one or if not both. Yeah. All right.
and
So
then
we know he has the board wipe, but there is that little tiny little 1/1 there behind.
yes.
So
Uh, yeah. So the way is now clear. Like Bob is really trying to stabilize. He's going on to 3. He does have a Vanquish the Weak and an Into the Fire in his hand, but
okay. So Pedro's drawn a Collective Nightmare. So if a small creature hits the board, it'll get taken care of. Notably, if Roan ever decides to show up back in play, Collective Nightmare will not kill it. And he's drawn a failed conversion, so that's the -4/-4. So he's got any future threats taken care of, but I think he's the one who needs to produce the threats rather than
yes.
answer his opponents right now.
So yeah, he has Into the Fire. Into the Fire, like really nice in this deck too. Like it's a
Okay.
control deck. It's a control card for him. He can wipe out some early creatures, or he can just draw
Yeah,
cards by pitching.
yeah. He's cycling his hand here +1. So what has he found here?
He's found Zarek Strobe Knight, another land, and a Stoke the Flames. So the
Okay.
Strobe Knight's gonna live, but not gonna live.
No, Strobe Knight is out of here.
I almost feel like he might have wanted to use the failed conversion there because just the Surveil 2 seems so valuable.
Yeah. Now he drew yet another land, so just absolutely flooding out. Ooh, Atris.
And opponent has drawn Atris.
And looks like he's he sees Invasion of Olgrotha, Mountain, and everyone's favorite monkey pirate here.
So he puts Ragavan on one side, takes the Ragavan just because you can dash it now.
I think I almost always just take the 2 cards unless the 1 card I see is just so insanely game swinging. You just take the 2 cards. 4 mana, 3/2 menace that draws 2 cards. He doesn't even need to attack the battle because he's drawing cards with the Ragavan. So
I almost feel like in this situation you want your opponent, you want to put the Ragavan face down. You don't really care about the invasion here as much as you do the Ragavan being able to just constantly swing at you with dash.
all right, so off goes Atris, but it already drew 2 cards. All right, so he's got a Furnace Gremlin and a Consuming Etherborn, which are very middling creatures, and he's thinking about sending them both away. Okay, he's going to keep the Furnace Gremlin. Is somewhere to dump all of his mana. But the
Only
problem
one
here is
problem.
that
Ragavan is there.
gets to hit again. Yeah, so I could see him potentially attacking the battle with at least the 3/3. Yeah,
No,
he's just going all the damage here.
just wants his
He just
opponent
wants to
dead.
end this game, quickly. He's at a low life. He realizes that his opponent could very well have direct damage, and he doesn't want
Yeah.
to. He doesn't want to attack the battle and then end up doing that. So
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know if Pedro realized that he was leaving the gremlin on top to be claimed by Ragavan. I don't know if that was part of his process, if he realized that, but yeah, we're just seeing the game end here. So Ragavan, traditionally good on turn 1, but if you're a control deck, it's good on turn 12 once you've cleared off all your opponent's creatures. You're just drawing cards off their deck and ending the game fast. So,
Yep.
yeah, normally we think of it as an aggressive card, but I mean, we're seeing it operate well here on a clear board. Helps end the game fast. There's a Judith, ridiculous card. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So Pedro needs his own board wipe here, and he's has not found it. So just a very very impressive display from Bob. I look forward to seeing his deck continue to play in future weeks because he has been streaming his matches here on the server and on his Twitch channel. So I do look forward to seeing how this deck grows and evolves because that was a very impressive performance. So congratulations to Bob on the win here. And we'll be back a bit later with match number 3.